If your employer offers a 401k match, there is a number buried in your benefits documents that could be worth more than your next raise. Most employees have heard the phrase employer match. Most have a general sense that contributing to their 401k is a good idea, but a surprising number of workers, including people who have been at a company for years, do not fully understand how their specific match formula works, what they actually need to contribute to receive the full benefit, or what happens to that employer money if they leave before a certain date. For a median-earning full-time American worker, missing the full employer match can mean forfeiting several $1,000s per year in employer contributions. Contributions that would otherwise compound in their retirement account over time. I'm Unus. This is Wealth Tactics, where we break down the mechanics and psychology behind the money decisions that shape your financial life. Today, we are going through everything you need to know about your 401k employer match, in plain language, with real numbers, and without skipping the parts that most explanations leave out. Let's start from the beginning, because even the basic concept gets described in ways that invite confusion. A 401k is a retirement savings account offered through your employer. When you contribute money, it comes out of your paycheck. With a traditional 401k, your contributions reduce your taxable income today, and you pay taxes when you withdraw the money in retirement. With a Roth 401k, you contribute after-tax dollars, so no immediate tax reduction. But your money grows tax-free, and qualified withdrawals in retirement are not taxed. Both accounts grow in a tax-advantaged way. The difference is when taxes apply. That much most people understand. The employer match is a separate layer on top of your own contributions. Your employer agrees to put additional money into your retirement account based on how much you contribute. It is not investment returns. It is not a discretionary bonus. It is compensation. Money your employer is prepared to direct toward your retirement that is structured to be contingent on your own contribution behavior. Think of it this way. Your employer has made a commitment. For every dollar you put in up to a certain limit, they will add a portion on top. If you contribute nothing, they contribute nothing under most matching formulas. If you contribute less than the amount required to trigger the full match, you leave part of that commitment unclaimed. This is why the employer match is often called free money. That phrase is directionally accurate, but it misses two important conditions we will come back to in a few minutes. Now, let's look at how the math actually works, because this is where most employees lose the thread. There is no single universal match formula. Every employer designs its own, within federal guidelines. But there are two formulas that appear across the largest share of retirement plans in the United States. The first and currently most common formula on Fidelity's platform is a two-tier design. Your employer matches 100 cents for every dollar you contribute up to 3% of your salary, then 50 cents for every dollar you contribute from 3% to 5% of your salary. Let's walk through this on a $60,000 salary. 3% of $60,000 is $1,800. Your employer matches every dollar of that first $1,800, so they contribute $1,800. The next tier covers the contribution from 3% to 5% of your salary. 2% of $60,000 is $1,200. Your employer matches 50 cents for every dollar, so they contribute $600. Total employer contribution, if you contribute exactly 5% of your $60,000 salary, $2,400 per year. That is money going into your retirement account from your employer, on top of the $3,000 you contributed yourself. But here is where the detail matters. What if you only contribute 4% instead of 5%? At 4%, you are contributing $2,400 of your own money. Your employer matches 100% of the first $1,800 and 50% of the next $600, giving you $1,800 plus $300. For a total employer contribution of $2,100. You have left $300 of your employer's available contribution unclaimed, simply because you fell 1 percentage point short of the threshold. And what if you contribute 10%? Under this formula, there is a cap. Anything above 5% of your salary receives no additional matching. Contributing more than 5% is still a sound financial decision. The money continues to grow in a tax-advantaged account, but you are no longer receiving additional employer dollars for those extra contributions. You have already captured the full match at 5%. The second common formula is simpler. 50 cents for every dollar you contribute up to 6% of your salary. On $60,000, contributing 6% means you put in $3,600, and your employer adds $1,800. If you contribute only 4%, your employer adds $1,200. and you have left $600 of their available contribution uncaptured. Different employer, different formula, different threshold. The first thing every employee should do is look up their specific plan document and find the exact formula, not assume it matches any general description they have read or heard. A practical question that comes up often: does contributing more than the match threshold hurt you in any way? No. Contributing beyond the match threshold is generally a sound financial decision. Your contributions up to the IRS employee limit, which is $24,500 for 2026 for workers under 50, continue to grow in a tax-advantaged account whether or not your employer is still matching them. The point is simply that once you have exceeded the match threshold, each additional dollar you contribute is growing on your own effort alone. One important clarification about limits: the $24,500 employee limit applies only to your own contributions. Your employer's matching contributions are tracked separately. The combined cap, your money plus your employer's money, is $72,000 per person in 2026 under IRS Section 415. For most workers, that combined ceiling is not a practical constraint, but it confirms that your employer's match does not reduce how much you yourself are allowed to contribute. Now, I want to address the part of the employer match that most employees have never read, and that can determine how much of that employer money you actually keep if you leave the company. It is called vesting. Here is how it works. Even though your employer's matching contributions appear in your 401k account balance, you may not fully own them yet depending on how long you have worked there. The vesting schedule determines when employer contributions become permanently and legally yours. Your own contributions, the money deducted from your paycheck, are always 100% yours from the moment they go in. That does not change regardless of how long you stay or when you leave. Vesting applies only to the employer's portion. There are three main types of vesting schedules. Immediate vesting means your employer's contributions are yours the moment they are deposited. According to Vanguard's 2025 plan data, about 47% of plans use this design. If your plan has immediate vesting, you could leave the company after any payroll cycle and take every employer dollar with you. Cliff vesting is an all-or-nothing schedule. The most common cliff is 3 years. You own 0% of the employer match until you cross that 3-year mark. Then 100% is yours. Leave at 2 years and 11 months and you walk away with none of the employer's contributions. Stay through year 3 and all of it is yours. Federal law prohibits employers from making the cliff period longer than 3 years for defined contribution plans. Graded vesting is a graduated schedule. Under the maximum schedule permitted by federal law, you vest 20% of employer contributions per year starting in year 2, reaching 100% after 6 years of service. Leave at year 3, and you may keep 40% of what your employer contributed. Leave at year 4, 60%. The schedule increases by 20% each year. Employers are free to be more generous than these federal minimums. Many are. Most classic safe harbor matching contributions are required to vest immediately. However, if your employer uses a QACA design, a specific type of safe harbor plan with automatic enrollment, a 2-year cliff vesting schedule is permitted, and if your employer makes additional discretionary contributions or profit-sharing contributions on top of the core match, those may be subject to a separate, slower vesting schedule even in a safe harbor plan. The practical implication: if you are planning a job change and your vesting schedule has a milestone coming in a few months, the difference between leaving now and waiting could be thousands of dollars in employer contributions you either keep or forfeit. The dollar amount is specific to your situation and is worth calculating before you decide. Let me address the free money framing directly because it deserves a more careful description. The employer match is real and valuable compensation that many workers either partially or fully miss out on. That part is accurate, but free implies no conditions, and there are 2 important conditions. The first is your own contribution. The match is contingent on you contributing. If you do not contribute, most matching formulas result in no employer contribution either. The second is vesting. Depending on your plan and how long you have been there, the employer's contributions may not be fully yours yet. Leaving before a vesting milestone can mean forfeiting a portion or all of the employer's contributions. A more accurate framing: the employer match is additional compensation that is part of your total benefits package, conditioned on your participation and, in some plans, your tenure. It is not unconditional. It is, however, money your employer is already prepared to pay toward your retirement. and not accessing it means accepting less than your total offered compensation. The practical question for most workers: should capturing the full employer match be the first financial priority? For many employees with access to an employer match and no other urgent financial situation, contributing at least enough to receive the full match is widely treated as the highest priority first step in financial planning, ahead of additional voluntary retirement contributions, ahead of funding a Roth IRA, and ahead of paying down most types of debt. The reason comes down to the starting position. When your employer adds 50 cents for every dollar you contribute up to a threshold, those matched dollars begin compounding from a significantly higher base than the amount you put in. In most situations, that immediate employer contribution, before any market movement applies, is one of the most favorable starting positions available to ordinary savers. There is no widely available alternative that begins with additional employer dollars deposited alongside your own. That said, there are situations where other priorities may reasonably take precedence. If you are carrying very high-interest debt, credit card balances at 20% or higher, the certain interest savings from paying down that debt aggressively may justify directing some capacity there as well. Many financial frameworks still recommend capturing the full employer match even in that situation, while directing any additional monthly capacity toward the high-rate debt. An emergency fund covering at least 1 to 3 months of expenses is also a sound near-term priority to build alongside beginning contributions. Individual situations vary in ways that matter. Income, debt load, interest rates, plan terms, family circumstances, and time horizon all affect the right answer for a specific person. This video is financial education, not personalized advice. If your situation is complex or the numbers are large, a qualified financial professional can help you think through it. One final practical detail to check, and this one surprises a lot of people. Some employers match contributions on a per-paycheck basis, not as an annual calculation. If you front-load your contributions early in the year, say you hit the $24,500 IRS employee limit by October, your November and December paychecks have no deferral coming out. At an employer that matches per paycheck, you may lose 2 months of matching contributions simply because you had nothing left to defer. Some employers do an annual true-up calculation to correct for exactly this situation. They look at your full-year contributions and make up any missed match at year-end. But not all employers do this. If your employer does not do a true-up, and you want to capture every dollar of the match, spreading your contributions evenly across the full year ensures you are always deferring in each pay period. Check your plan's summary plan description for how your employer handles this. It is a specific plan rule that cannot be assumed. Here is the one action to take from this video. Find out exactly how much you need to contribute to receive your employer's full match, and if you are not currently contributing at least that amount, change it. Not next enrollment period. This month, because every pay period you spend under the threshold is a pay period where your employer contributed less to your retirement account than they were prepared to. Does your employer offer a 401k match? Drop a comment and let me know what formula they use and whether you are currently capturing all of it. This is Wealth Tactics. I'm Unas. If this helped you understand your retirement benefits more clearly, subscribe for more practical finance content that helps you build a stronger financial position. I'll see you in the next one.